is Jeffrey Towson. I'm a professor of investment here at Peking University in Beijing. I'm fortunate enough to have with me today Zhang, who is a film producer and financier who up until 2 months ago,
Yes.
2 months ago was at Alibaba Pictures. So thank you very much for coming.
Thank you for having me.
So standard is we ask 5 questions for all of our guests. So what is the single most important thing in entertainment in China today?
Okay, it is going to be an imminent event that happens where you see the 3 largest video platforms, Tencent, Youku, and then iQIYI. The 3 are going to create partnerships and continue expanding and continue building their infrastructure until eventually one of the parent companies of the 3 starts buckling or starts getting cold feet about the expansion. And all of the speculation is that that would be Baidu, iQIYI, in which the industry will then start turning into 2 big players, Tencent and Youku, battling each other, with iQIYI either finding a new partner or merging with one of the 2. Is it considered an imminent event? And as soon as that tripartite relationship erodes into a dual relationship, that changes the entire playing field in the digital sphere. And that is when we'll start seeing either rapid inflation of prices, or we're going to start seeing rapid deflation of prices and more video content being offered by 2 platforms. And that affects the film business because as you get more companies merging and creating large distribution platforms like Alibaba Pictures has been doing, like Tencent has been doing with their Tencent Pictures unit, like Fosun and Wanda are going to continue doing, you're going to start seeing companies that are in film financing become more and more about building the basic infrastructure of content delivery rather than actually content creation. And that is going to breed a larger group of companies that are going to get created that do nothing but content creation. So you're going to start seeing boutique companies out there, like the company of the director of the last hit, The Wolf Warrior 2. Wu Jing's company is going to be a major content player now, and they have just been formed because of the film Wolf Warrior. You're going to see with the success of Never Say Die, the rapid growth of Kaixin Mahua film company. So all of these small boutique companies are going to start growing. So that's going to be triggered by essentially the consolidation and the competition between the 3 BATs.
What's the biggest difference between entertainment in China and the West, let's say Hollywood?
Okay, I think in terms of businesses, you'll see that the largest source of revenue and perhaps the only source of revenue for filmed entertainment in China comes from the theatrical window. In terms of digital, it is still a growing market, but for any filmed entertainment, that still nevertheless is limited to at most 10% of the revenue, whereas in the US, you'll see that theatrical revenue often stands in for a third of a film's overall revenue. And then you have DVD, pay TV, free TV, digital electronic sell-through, digital platform, and then you have theme parks, a lot of other transmedia capabilities for a film. So on the business side, that's that. For the consumer, you'll see that in the US, the average person watches about 4 movies per year. In China, that number is still around, 2 years ago, that was 0.25 per year. It's grown to about 0.5 per year. So you'll see that the viewing habits are different. So essentially you have film goers in the US, whereas you only have people who watch movies occasionally in China.
Great. What is everyone getting wrong about entertainment in China? What's the biggest misconception?
I think one of the biggest misconceptions is that traditional modes of storytelling, if they work in the US, and I say storytelling, not the actual subject matter, narrative styles, the 3-act structure, that's going to work in China necessarily. That is a big misconception. You'll see that in China, China's had such a long, uninterrupted history of storytelling, and then modes of storytelling in China, in my humble opinion, are predisposed to certain mediums that are not the case in the US. Case in point is the 60, 80 episode television drama that is so popular in China. Extreme long form content, shall we say. And then you have extreme short form content that is huge in China. You have social influencers who are turned IPs now in China, whereas in the US that's kind of growing. It's important, it's always been important in advertising, but it's not really caught on to become something that spawns filmed or TV kind of content.
What's next? What's coming in 2 to 3 years that we should be paying attention to?
Okay, well, that is a really, really difficult question. I think a lot of people are expecting the availability of naked eye 3D technology and expecting that to be implemented into theaters. A lot of other people are expecting to see dynamic ticket pricing becoming very, very common across the board. The common saying is that film ticketing is the last non-dynamically priced ticket, which is very, very valid. Whether that's going to, how much that's going to affect the overall market, I can't say. But you're going to see more and more disruptive technologies come in. VR and AR are going to eventually catch on and become their own self-contained storytelling medium. And high frame rate is going to become more and more common. And you see Ang Lee and Peter Jackson have been experimenting with that. Theaters are going to want to react, and exhibitors, should I say, are going to react to the digital incursion and try to upgrade their experience into various different ways of being more premium.
What is your favorite book, beverage, or beach, or more than one?
Okay. My favorite beverage is, I'm a big whiskey fan, and of the whiskeys, I like bourbon the most. And of bourbon, which is a type of corn whiskey, I like an American brand called A.G. Hirsch the most. It's the sweetest and most nuanced bourbon I've ever tasted, and I always remember it.
Great. Anyways, thank you so much for joining us. This is Jeffrey Towson from Peking University in Beijing.